one of the most interesting questions in the world. How do I start a small business? What do I do? Where do I go? Who do I seek help from? Where do I get money? These are all classic questions that every small business or every budding entrepreneur asks. After interviewing so many people here at the Chamber and working and counseling with so many businesses for the past 7 years, there's 5 things that have kind of come out that every small business or every person who wants to start a small business needs to know. First, Simon Sinek says it best in his book where he talks about why. And in his book, Start With Why, his 3 basic philosophies. Why are you doing this? Why would you want to own a small business? It's rough. It's tough. I mean, you work harder than you would at a regular job. So why would you do this? And I think that's the first step, is begin with why. All right, step 2. Once you know why, you figured out and kind of tapped into your passion about whatever it is you do, your craft work, right? It's all about what you want to build or what service you want to provide or what problem your business will fix. So once you know why, the next step is not to go all the way to the how, but kind of go back and find out who you are. You got to know yourself. And there's great tests out there like DISC or Myers-Briggs, but one of my personal favorites is a test called How to Fascinate. It shows you not just who you are, but really shows you what's fascinating about you that others recognize. And once you kind of know what you're good at and who you are and what your personality is, it'll help you be a better leader. And you gotta be a better leader. You gotta be a great leader in order to start a business, because you're gonna be leading others. It's not just about you. It's about the team. It's about the organization you're gonna build. It's about that first employee you're gonna hire. And you wanna make sure to make the right decision. And 9 times out of 10, hiring the right person has little to do with them and has a lot to do with you. All right, cool. So you figured out why, right? And you know yourself. You've done some personality tests. You've really done some introspection about who you are. The next thing you gotta do is validate your customer. And in validating, what does that mean? That means make sure that your product or service is desirable with someone else. And in order to do that, one of the things that we recommend is always have your mission statement where it's short and sweet and ties to your passion. You know, I know a lady who owns a bakery, right? And I said, well, why did you open a bakery? She said, I want to make people smile. When I baked bread at home, everybody smiled. And she said, that was where my passion was. And so once you know yourself and you know why you're doing it, then take that passion, take that knowledge, take that understanding of what your business is, and go sell. Go validate who your customers could be. Go experiment. Find 10 people and ask them, would you buy this? Can you taste this? Look at this prototype. Check this out. Will this help you with your problem? Survey people. Once you validate your customer, then you can move on to the 4th step. All right, cool. So you went to 10 people, right? And they all said, we love your product and it tastes good, it looks good, we want to buy it, right? So your next step is really the real detailed hard stuff. You got to start creating processes. Off the top, you got to have a budget. You got to understand your margins. You know, are you charging enough for your product? How are you going to deliver that product? How much does it cost to deliver that product? You got to do all of the financial stuff and create those processes. But you also got to create those processes for how you're going to do customer service. What happens when your product or service fails? How you going to follow up with your clients? You got to have those processes. And even if they're all up in your head, you got to get it on paper. It's so critically important. The more you can put on paper, and put it, as my mentor Joe Madison says, and put it where the goats can eat it. Make the processes simple and understandable for you yourself to follow and your employees. How are you going to train someone else if it's not written down? You can't just tell them everything. Last step, be accountable. I tell people all the time, you don't know what you don't know. And the only way to know what you don't know is to go ask somebody. My grandmother used to say that all the time. You got to be accountable. Find a mentor. Get a great team around you. People say it all the time, but you got to do it. Go find the most expensive CPA in town and just have a conversation with them. You know you can't afford them, but they're going to give you insight so that you can judge who you can afford, to make sure that you have the right accounting pieces in place, that you have the right legal pieces in place, and then have some folks that are just plain doggone honest. They may know nothing about business, but they know you, and they're going to be honest with you. And you've got to have a whole group of not yes people, but no people. People that'll tell you no. And you take those no's and you take their advice and wrap that with your passion and wrap that with your why you're doing this and wrap it with everything about who you are and go out there and build a great business.